Hello, my name is Anne, and this is Toby, who desperately needs a haircut. And welcome to a Tobyknits Podcast, episode 186. It's actually my 9-year anniversary of having a YouTube channel today. Who knew? That's so exciting. And I think I started out, oh my goodness, I don't even know, doing cards, like making cards when I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I think that's what it was. And I started doing cards, and then it morphed into knitting, and then it morphed into crochet, and then cross stitch, and then quilting. Yeah, and it's just kind of grown from there. But to all of you lovelies who have stayed with me this whole 9 years, thank you. And if you are new here, go grab a cup of tea. You're going to need it. Today we're talking about knitting. I used to do my knitting every week, and then it just got to the point where I was struggling to keep up because I was cross-stitching such a lot, and I was doing weekly cross-stitch videos. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. I then went to the first and third Mondays to do knitting. But that gets really complicated when there's like 5 weeks in a month. So I've decided in my infinite wisdom, and I've had a lot of people saying how much they miss the knitting videos. No, I'm not going back to weekly. Well, kind of I am and I'm not. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go every 2 weeks on Mondays. Every other Monday will be a knitting crochet podcast. So I'll all be about the knitting. And every other Wednesday, but on the off Wednesdays, it'll be floss tube. So instead of a weekly floss tube, you're going to get one every 2 weeks. However, every Friday will either be a knit with me or a stitch with me. So you will get, in essence, a cross stitch and a knitting podcast in some form or another every week. So I think that will be much more fun and easier for me to plan and stuff, because you know how much I love planning. Oh, I just love all my planning, my projects and planning and stuff. But anyway, it's actually been a month since my last podcast because, as you know, I went out to Nova Scotia to visit my youngest son and Sean and the lovely Miss Megan, his wife, and the lovely Leo and the sweet Sunny. So I went to visit them for a week and had a fabulous time. But while I was there, my brother-in-law sadly passed away. So then when I got home, there was all the funeral, there was all the family coming. So it was really difficult to do the podcast within those 2 weeks. Then we went away for 2 weeks, and we literally just got back on, what day is it today? Today is actually Sunday as I film this. We got back on Friday night late. So that's why it's been a whole month since I've actually been able to sit down and talk to you about my knitting. Yes. And I've just rambled on for nearly 4 minutes and I haven't showed you a thing. Well, let's get straight into that. Have I got any finished objects? No. What have I worked on? I've been trying this month to do it a little differently. In that, dedicating a week, like Monday to Friday, to one project of knitting, and then Saturday and Sunday is always the same project. That makes sense when you see that written down on paper, but because we went away for the first 2 weeks of May, basically, I took only one knitting project with me, and that was the sweater I am making for the lovely Leo from this yarn, which is Knit Picks heavily in the colorway Sea Glass. And I am doing, here's a picture of what I am making for him. It is the Wanderer sweater by Tin Can Knits. And before I left, I had just got to the point to break for sleeves. And here is where I am now. So I had just got to this part when I left to go away, and basically I have knit this much while I've been gone. You can actually almost see the line there. And the reason you can see that line is I made a mistake. I did. Let me show you. It's an 8-row pattern repeat. It's a beautiful cable down the front. It looks absolutely lovely. I really like it. But here, for some reason, and I don't know why, I have 2 purl rows when it should be, it's almost like a reverse. No, it's a garter stitch. So 1 row is purl, but it's in the round. So 1 is purl and then you do a knit. And for some reason, I must have done 2 purls. And you can see right across there. But it's actually right where the sleeve broke. So I don't know if I was not reading the instructions properly. Can you imagine? This is for Leo. I mean, holy moly, it almost fits me. No, it doesn't. It wouldn't even go over my boobs. So who's kidding who here? But it's really pretty. I love it. And he's going to love it. And the nice thing about this, and the back is just plain. And like I said, once it's on him, who's going to notice them lines? I mean, you can all see them now because I pointed them out. But this is lovely yarn to work with. It's nice and thick and cozy. And I think he's really going to enjoy it. And the nice thing about any of the Tin Can Knits patterns, even if you're knitting for a child, you can make it for an adult too. So that's awesome, right? So I may end up making one for Sean, maybe in a different color, in a darker blue or something. This is a DK, I think. So I'm really enjoying that. So that's all I knit on in the 2 weeks I was gone. So from here to there, and most of this was knit when we were in the car driving, because our trip was, we flew into Calgary in Alberta, and then we drove from Calgary to Banff, which was only about an hour and a half away. Stayed there for 3 nights. The next day we drove to Jasper, and that's like a 3-4 hour drive. So each time we were driving to our next destination, that's when I was doing my knitting. And then from there we went 3 days in Jasper, then 3 days in Edmonton, then 3 days back in Calgary. So we just did a little loop. And we met up with my dad and my brother, who flew from England to Calgary to meet us. And then we all rented a car and off we went. And we had a great time. It was really a nice vacation. Nice to see my dad. He's 92. You always worry if it's the last time, but it was fabulous. And yeah, we got to see things that we'd never seen before. We got to go places we hadn't been before. So it was really nice. So that was, in essence, my car knitting while we were. It is now going to become my Saturday, Sunday knit. And I will just work on those in the evening, or when I'm watching football or something. That's what I will work on Saturdays and Sundays. That gives us 2 more weeks left of May. So for the next week, Monday to Friday, I am going to be working on my box of socks. Now, these socks were, these socks, I designed them last month, and they are the current sock special for Soxy Nana Alice and Diane, my pink bathtub, who are doing a monthly socks along. So I designed these socks for their socks along, and they didn't ask me to, I just wanted to. And if you are on their channel, you can get a 20% discount if you follow along with them. I think Alice has posted it a few times, and you can get 20% off. Now, I did, the initial sock is done in 2 colors, but I have decided I wanted to do another one plain in just 1 color. At one time I was going to do, because there's a white heel, but one of my viewers, I'm so sorry, I forgot who you are, has suggested, no, just do it 1 color. So I'm doing it 1 color, and I have done 1. So here it is. These are my box of socks. So it's just a nice knit pearl rib, and then this is the box of socks. I'll show you a photograph of why I called them that, because I have a box of socks in my drawer and they're all folded up, and this looks like all my different socks folded up. Then it goes plain. It's just a heel, flap and turn, the standard one. And then again on the bottom there's nothing, it's the sole, but at the bottom is another box of socks before the heel, the toe, which is just a wedge toe. So these are so this is the first one I've done of this colorway, not the first pair of socks of this. Again, down. Okay, go. So they're really pretty. I love this yarn. I got this yarn in Nova Scotia a couple of years ago from the Violet Unicorn, and it was a local dyer. I don't believe she's dyeing anymore, but it's very, very pretty. It's a super easy sock pattern. It's very rhythmic. It's very easy to get into the flow. I know a few people have got stuck on the sew, me included at one point, where you just keep going with the pattern because it's so fun to do that you forget, it's the base of the foot. No, that should be plain. So, but it is a really nice sock to do. So this week coming up, Monday to Friday, I'm going to be working on sock number 2. And I'm thinking, and let me know what you think about this below. I knit these on Magic Loop, and I was thinking I might do a tutorial on how I knit on Magic Loop and show you how I cast on, show you how I arrange my needles when I get down to the heel flap and turn and the gusset and all that. Would you like to know how I do mine? If you think that's a great idea, then that's what I'll do. As I'm knitting the second sock, I will record the videos and put them up as a tutorial for you. But let me know what you think. So that's going to be my Monday to Friday for week 3 of May. And then Saturday, Sunday will go back to being my sweater. And then week 4, you can decide. Should I finish the gnome, which requires a beard and arms, which won't take me too long, but I think this is, I forget the name of this one. It's the smallest of the gnomes in the Grimblewood Gnome book. Should I do him and finish him to go with his buddies over there? Or should I continue working on Bob's Musselburgh hat? That's as far as I've got with poor Bob's Musselburgh hat. Not very far, right? So you decide what I'm going to do. I want you to pick. So write in the comments below the gnome or the Musselburgh, and I will do one of those Monday to Friday, the 4th week of May. So yeah, while I was away, I did purchase some yarn. I went to Stash in Calgary. I've been there before, loved it. I bought a sock yarn before, an ancient arts yarn as well. I just love this yarn. It's their local dyer, and whenever I go away on vacation, I always want to find a local dyer. And I was thrilled that I got this color, which is a blue, because not only is it I need a new pair of blue socks so I can wear with my jeans and stuff, because all my others are getting really, rubbishy. But this is also the May 2025 Color of the Month Spring Frost. So I thought that was fabulous and a great way to remember my holiday. I will more than likely do my holiday socks in these to remind me of the holiday. And I will probably cast these on in June. These will be my June socks. I'm not going to pull from my monthly color. I'm going to do these because I want to remember my vacation with my dad. So, and my husband and my brother. So I'm going to be working on them, and I will do, I think, my holiday socks, which are just a short pair of socks, which would be great because we're coming into summer. And I still like to wear socks in the summer when I'm not wearing my flip-flops. But if I've got jeans on and I've got on, running shoes or hiking shoes or something, you need a pair of socks. But I only want a short pair. So I'm going to be probably casting them on for the holiday socks. Yeah, so I think that's all I've got for you. It's not a very long one because, as I say, I've only basically been knitting on the one thing. And I have just completed, I think I did 12 episodes of May Days with Dad, where we took the whole trip across, and you can see it. I videoed it all. And so that was fun, but that was more like a vloggy thing. It wasn't really a knitting or a cross stitch or whatever. Cross stitch will be back on Wednesday. I will be doing a Stitch North recap before I get into the new season of then I'll have one more floss tube after that, which will catch you up on what I did while I was on my trip. And then in May we will start the new system. It'll be every other week for both, and every Friday will be a stitch or a knit with me. I will put a calendar up. I'll do a calendar and I'll put it up on my Tobyknits and Friends Facebook group, and I'll put it up in the community here so you will have it and know. The Stitch with Me and Knit with Me will not be live. I do like to pre-record them the day before. And what I typically do is I will answer any questions, or I will comment on anything that someone has said in my previous video. And then what I do is moving forward, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to then take all those names, write them out, put them in a jar, whatever. And Bob is going to pick out a name, and that person will win a little prize from me. It could be a chart for cross stitch. It could be a pattern to knit. It could be some yarn. It could be some floss. It could be some floss drops. It could be, I don't know, whatever takes my fancy that I feel like sharing with you. One person will win that each time I do one of my videos on a Friday. So make sure you watch on Fridays and comment. Anyway, I am going to go. I need a cup of tea. I need to edit this. And the hockey's on tonight. Bob is at work. This is my first evening since we've been back where I'm alone for the evening. My brother-in-law was here last night and his wife, and they stayed over. And then this morning, Andrew came with the kids. So this is my first actual relaxing evening since we got back from vacation. So, you know, I always need a vacation after you've had a vacation. That's what I need tonight. Anyway, I'm going to let you go, and I will talk to you on Wednesday for some cross stitch. Until then, bye.